So this is my, I guess, a video. I haven't done a YouTube video in quite some time, and I figured now is as good a time as any. It's day 16 of my sprained knee injury, so I haven't been able to train jiu-jitsu the way I want. I've been getting limited work at the cemetery. Studies are going well at the seminary. A couple people have asked me, am I still in discernment for priesthood? Am I in formation? Actually, last year, last January, January 4th, I had a nervous breakdown. Um, the stress, everything got to me. So I requested some time. Some time was granted. Maybe a little bit more time than I needed, maybe not. I'm always in discernment. Vocation is something you can't really turn it off. And I know I don't exactly fit the mold. Um, One of the questions I get asked a lot is, are you a traditionalist? I'm not sure how to answer that because, I work with Father Paradis with Notre Dame dans la Rue. Again, I haven't been able to in the last week and a half or so. My knee is really swollen. It's quite big. So I've been concentrating on weight training. It's a little bit humbling. Uh, Maybe that was needed, but maybe this is what our Lord is inviting me to do for Lent to kind of slow down a little bit. Am I a traditionalist? I would say I'm a Catholic. Um, do I represent the men of my generation who are practicing their faith? Why are we attracted to more of a high liturgy? I don't think it has anything to do with the rite per se, like ordinary form versus extraordinary form. I think it has to do with the attitude surrounding it. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm against the generation that preceded us, but the stakes are different. They grew up, Vietnam was happening, protesting. We grew up with, a little Babel in our hands. When we weren't playing sports, we were either playing video games. And noise is constantly coming at us. And when we find mass in the extraordinary form, what's happening is that I think for the first time we're seeing something transcendent, something beautiful. Again, this is not to say that these can't be done in the ordinary form. They can, and I've seen it. But I think the clarity of the message, it's a little bit of you know, a right boom into the ribs. And we need that. Like, if you listen to Holy Father Francis's homilies from Casa Santa Marta, he doesn't pull any punches. I mean, he says what he needs to say. And sometimes, it's tough to kind of hear it, but, we need it. So I don't think I'm a traditionalist. I think once the IST is added on, we kind of fall into ideology, which I don't think our Lord wants us to. I think we have to be all things to all people. Obviously, different strokes for different folks, So, that being said, am I against praise and worship? No, outside of Mass. Inside of Mass, I'm like, it's not my cup of tea, but it's not something that I would hammer somebody over the head with. Another question that comes up, and I wanted to do a blog, but I think I wrote an article years ago about it. How do I reconcile the martial arts, jujitsu, with the faith, violence, quote unquote? I don't think, I think people misconstrue what the martial arts are all about. Yeah, the old adage, there's a saying, and a few people have said this to me online on social media. I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. In order to maintain peace in society, always be prepared for war. Learn how to fight so you never have to. And I think jujitsu, wrestling, sambo, anything that really allows you to spar reasonably at a full blast level is good. It calms you down. It enables you to learn humility. I mean, you're tapping to guys from all walks of life. I mean, from the accountant to the banker to the lawyer to the doctor to the kindergarten teacher, anything. So I think it develops in you a healthy ego. That healthy ego enables you to carry your cross if you're living your Christian life um, with any kind of coherency. Following our Lord is not easy, not today, not by any stretch of the imagination. Um, and our Lord said it, we don't get to pick our cross. He'll pick it for us because whatever cross he puts on us, it's to graft us closer to him in humility. Humility is the key, and I know I need it. When I do this, I'm well aware there are three fingers pointing back at me. So this has been my, I guess, a little video. I'm gonna start doing these from time to time. I always say that, and then my schedule gets in the way, whatnot. But I'd love to talk about metaphysics, philosophy, which is something near and dear to my heart. I love theology. I'm one of those guys. I'm never going to be I had this beautiful experience of, I'm not built that way. And I think most guys, we need to argue a point in order to be convinced of something. We need to take on what we don't agree with, arguments for, against, and develop something, our own thought process out of it. When people ask, "Am I Catholic?" Why? Out of conviction, not because I'm, you know, Italian Irish or Italian Celtic, Scotch Irish. I have no choice, yeah, but I've accepted my baptismal vows and I'm very Catholic. And as for priesthood, I always continue to discern it, and hopefully with your prayers, I'll continue on this journey. God bless. Peace.